So growing up, my dad was coaching. He actually was competing when I was born. And in '84, I was born in '81. '84, he was in the Olympic trials and pulled a muscle in the trials. And so then he went back and brought us back to Arkansas and started working, and he got into coaching right away. And so I kind of grew up watching him coach, and was on the track all the time, just playing around with things.
I'm saying she started around 12 and 13. We started doing some AAU stuff. We got a little team together, and Candace was on it. And we started out long jump, high jump, and then we started messing with the hurdles, and she got good in the hurdles, so that was another event. And then, you know, we got into the 300 hurdles and all the relay races and the 100 and the 200.
I first met Jennifer when she was getting ready to go into 9th grade. I was the head track coach at Ramey Junior High, girls and boys. And Jennifer's dad called. She was at Shiloh at the time and said, hey, we're going to transfer Jennifer to Ramey Junior High. And of course, in my head as a coach, I thought, well, we just got about 60 points better at track. Like there's 60 points just coming to our school.
My parents were always very supportive of as much as I could do. It wasn't anything like it is now. I didn't get burnout, and I think that's so important. They let me play basketball until I saw that, okay, I want to be a Razorback. And to do that, I really need to be doing some work off season for track. And so I was never pushed to make a decision. I loved track. And so I definitely made that choice to run track.
On the court, Jennifer was always very aggressive, especially with basketball. She'll be the first to let you know like her skills were better at track than at basketball, but you couldn't really tell her apart from the real basketball players because she always played hard and she was always quick. And so we played, even though she was running track, she played basketball. And then that's what brought me out to run with her. She pushed me every day on the track. She was always kicking my butt in the 200 or the 100. She would go first, I'd be second, first, second every time. And she was just so good at every event on the track, and she was super competitive. And even though she was so good at what she did, she was very humble. She was always so sweet and nice and helpful with the rest of us, which also made us step our game up and be able to compete as hard as we could on the track team so that we could win.
Jennifer was not just a great athlete. She had a great work ethic. Jennifer had a ton of talent, but she was also very driven, a good teammate, great attitude. As far as like toughness, Jennifer was one of the toughest athletes I ever coached. You know, I've coached mostly football. Jennifer was tough. She would do a lot of times, back then the event rules were a little different when she was in junior high. So a lot of times she would do 8 events in the track meets. And of course, never complain. Love doing it, compete at a high level at every one of them.
She was such a team player that when we needed something, she would do it. But we used her for like 50 points at the state track meet to win the state track meet. And
but I remember when I got in college, I think that's when I really knew how much my dad had impacted me. And they came to all the meets. They didn't come my first year at conference at SEC's. I was, I think, maybe predicted to score a point, and I ended up PRing and jumped a 1.5 foot higher and won SEC's. And I called and told my parents, and after I'd been interviewed, and my dad was kind of like, "You're joking." And I was like, "No, I'm serious." Having my dad sometimes in the stands, I realized how much I depended on him as an athlete, because I would just feel a little off, and I'd look up in the stands and he'd just like give me the, "You're good, you're good." And then it was just like, okay, I got this.
That was real cool to watch her come up and do the things that I'd done, and to be able to teach her, because I knew I could make her better if she'd listen and pay attention, and she did. And following her on through college was really special because I got to see her bloom, and she was All-American. She did everything that we wanted her to do. So,
You know, to me, the people that in life that make other people better in every aspect, whether it's sports, whether you're working on a job with them, whether, you know, they're your babysitter or whatever, but they make the people around them better, you know, and that's Jennifer.